Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond? Maybe Roy is just bird speak for save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. I guess until Roy answers, we'll never know. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
People say I ain't no good, and I'm crazy as a loon. Cause I shave my head in the morning, pick guitar in the afternoon. Just like old Chief and Charlie, I like to lay around in the shade. Well, I ain't got no money, but you better believe I got it made. Cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, just leave this bald-headed country boy alone.
What's up, fam? Before I start this episode, I just want to apologize to our sponsors. I'm not running your ads before this show. I'm going to be very controversial on this episode, and you might not want your name attached to it. So I'm going to do all y'all a favor. Instead of picking and choosing, I'm just not going to air none of them. So, here's the deal. I was supposed to have a show today that's going to be funny, lighthearted, all that good shit. And then by the time I get up today, I wake up to the Nashville school shooting. And so I cancel my show, and I'm pissed off right now. I'm pissed off, I'm aggravated, and to be honest with you, this is probably going to be one of those shows that makes a lot of y'all not like me, or it's going to make you like me a whole lot more. As a parent, I'm fucking irate right now. And if you're a parent, you're probably the same way. You're brokenhearted for those families up in Nashville. But I'm just more brokenhearted that we got to this fucking point. I'm just more brokenhearted that the fact that this shit is still happening. You know, you look back when our moms and dads and our grandparents were growing up, we didn't have these fucking problems. And I don't know the answer to how you fix it. I could tell you what I would fucking do, but at the same time, a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with it. You know, I'm not fixing to argue politics or gun policy with none of you guys. I just don't see how this keeps happening. And I was going to try to read everybody's name that has passed on since this morning, since the shooting that was involved with it. But if you know me, you know what a shitty reader I am. So do me a favor, if you don't know their names, you can look in the description section of this show, and I will have them all listed. I was planning on having fun today, but I was planning on bullshitting with somebody today on the show and making you guys laugh, but I'm not in the mood for it. I'm not in the mood, kinda. I want to let my frustration out, and to be honest with you, I want you guys to let your fucking frustration out too. I don't want you to bottle it up. I want you to figure out a way, if this is on your heart and it's bothering you, to speak about it. You know, you're going to get a lot of people that come at you from both sides of the aisle. You're going to have people saying, oh, ban guns because of this shit. Fuck them for making their political stance out of children's death, out of a school shooting, and the adults that were harmed as well. Fuck them for trying to push their agenda on you because of that. But also, and I'm more leaning towards this side, you know, you're going to have the people that are like me, that are like, we need more guns out there. And we do, in my opinion. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to push my agenda on you in this moment. That's not what we should be doing. But I will tell you this. I posted this on Facebook a few minutes ago. Because that's how you let your shit out now. I posted this. Lord, I know we can't stop all the evil in this world, but will you please give our elected leaders knowledge and understanding they need to stop school shootings. No child should ever be scared to go to school. I pray for those involved today in Nashville. Protecting our children should be our number one priority, not just in this country, but around the world. And let me tell you, I'm so fucking mad right now that it took me all day to decide to come to the studio and record something about this and to make just that simple post, because that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is that I hope the person that did this fucking rots in hell. I don't know if that person killed themselves at the school shooting. I don't know any of the information on that individual, but if they're still alive, there's a special place in fucking hell for you, and I hope that one of the parents get to send you there. I am for capital punishment, if you didn't already know that. Look, when I started this show, it was called Politics, Religion, and Whiskey. Had to change that name because a lot of people were turned off on doing the show because they didn't want to talk about politics, religion, or whiskey, and that's not what it was about. This show is about the freedom to talk about whatever the fuck you want to. Free speech still lives here. And as long as I'm doing this show, free speech is going to fucking be here. Or I'm just not going to do it. That's the reason why we haven't sold out to a bigger studio yet. And I'm making pennies to where I could be making dollars. Is because I refuse to have anybody tell me what I can and cannot fucking talk about. If I want to talk about God one minute, I will. If I want to talk about getting drunk the next, I will. I live in a country to where free speech is still free. And I am going to abuse the right out of that as much as possible. But it's on the days like today that I just don't have it in me. And I'm sure that's how a lot of y'all feel. I'm sure a lot of y'all cried. A lot of y'all have been angry. A lot of y'all have hollered and asked why. And all that is fine. All that is fine, but we've got to start making a fucking change. We got to start realizing this country isn't blue and red. This country should be about all of us coming together and figuring out a solution for shit like this. This shit should never happen. One thing I didn't see on the news today was I didn't see that a little Democrat girl got killed or a little Republican girl got killed. I saw a child got killed. If we could get politicians and people to look at it like that, as a human being instead of a Republican or Democrat or what the fuck ever they are at the moment, then they will see it's just a human being that we need to protect. It's a child that we need to protect. And we're not doing a good fucking job of that. We're not doing a good job of that in social media. We're letting our kids grow up way too fast on social media. I am blessed that my daughter only looks at what she looks at. I am one of those dads that has her to where I got that family share shit where I can see what she texts. I can see what she does. My child doesn't know that most of the time. My child's good. My child is acting like an 11-year-old should most of the time. Except when she runs that fucking mouth. But it's our fault that we're allowing kids to grow up too fast. And now, if we don't get our shit together, we're not going to allow them to grow up at all. What precedent are we setting for our children that we're not protecting them? What are we doing as moms and dads that says to our kids, it does not matter where you go or what you do, I'm protecting you? My daughter knows good and damn well that if anything happens, she comes to me and I will rock orange. I will make sure that whatever hurts my daughter never does it again. But we don't need to just do that as if we are talking about someone harming our children. The internet's fucking harming our kids. To be honest with you, some of the stuff that I've probably said and done that I've put on the internet is not good for your kids. Hell, it's probably not good for you. We've got to do better. We've got to pray more, but we also have got to make a fucking change somewhere. Look, I said it in that post. There's a lot of evil in this world, and we'll never be able to stop all of it. We'll never be able to control the evil motherfuckers out there. There's always going to be bad. But, and I can't remember the full quote, but it's something along the lines of evil only prospers where good men fail to act, or some shit like that. We've got to stand up and let these people know you're not going to harm our kids. No matter what you're going through, our country is going through a mental health fucking crisis right now. Look, I'm a suicide survivor. I battle my mental health every day. I talk to people day in and day out that battle their mental health issues. Those people are working on it. I'm working on it. You know how many people aren't working on it? This will come out more than likely from what I have read. This kid was probably bullied, treated like shit, whatever. We got to teach our kids to be better to other kids too, because we don't know what they're going through. We don't know what bullshit they're going through at home, what they're going through in their fucking head. Our kids should be good to everybody. And that might not have nothing to do with today. Today might have just been a fucking person off their rocker decided to do something fucking stupid. I don't know. But whatever it was, I'll guarantee you it could have been stopped. It could have been stopped 10 years ago by showing that kid love. By letting that kid know, hey, you're a little fucked up in the head. Guess what? So's your mom and dad. So's the rest of society. None of us are right. All of us are struggling with something. The more we talk about our mental health, the more other people hear us talk about our mental health, and the more they feel less alone. They don't feel as crazy when they know everybody's going through the shit. That is one thing I hear time and time again when I sit down and I get to talk to somebody about mental health. Is they're relieved by the end of the conversation that somebody feels the same way they do or have felt the same way they do. It is a relief. It is a weight off of their fucking shoulders. We have to do more of that. This shit is out of control. You know, I'm glad I live in the place that I live. I have friends that come here from other states, and it looks podunk as fuck now. We look backwoods. We look 30 years in the past. Doesn't matter what color you are, we get along with one another here. Racism isn't fucking big here. Doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is here. Everybody loves and accepts everybody. On our courthouse lawn, we still have Bible reading marathons. Communities like this don't have problems. Not saying that they wouldn't tomorrow. But it's the way that everyone is loved and raised around here. We have to start focusing on loving our kids, teaching them more right from wrong, not letting the internet do the fucking parenting. It used to be the TV did the parenting. Now it's TikTok. Now it's Instagram. Now it's Facebook. We've got to focus more on us doing the parenting. And even if you don't have kids, be nice to your niece and nephews. Show them what's wrong and right. Be there for them. Be there for the kids who you know that need them. Hey, I'm sure they still have it. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it lately. But the Big Brother program, the Big Sisters of the world. You know, if you don't have kids and you want to make a difference in a kid's life, instead of just, donating to some, Boys and Girls Club, why don't you go volunteer and actually try to make a difference in a kid's life and show them love and not show them that throwing money at something does. A lot of people just want to throw money at problems to fix it. Love is not one of those things. Teaching somebody to have a heart is not one of those things you can just throw money at and fix it. And I'm so fucking mad that I don't know. Like, this is one of the things that'll fuck me up for a couple days. And I knew none of these families. I don't live in Nashville. It's just we should have never got to this fucking point. The one place in this world, all places should be safe for kids, but fucking school should be the number one place for our kids to go, be able to get an education, play with their friends, not be bullied, not be harassed, not be touched inappropriately, and definitely not be fucking shot at. But we're failing our kids. We're fucking failing them. We need to be more active in fucking being loud to our leaders of this country. Our elected officials have to know this shit's got to quit. And this is what will happen. Both sides will use this as a time to push their agenda on guns, like they always fucking do. In a couple months, you'll still hear about this school shooting, but you'll hear about liberals saying, take our guns, or you'll hear the other side saying every teacher should have a fucking gun in their desk. But you won't hear the kid's name anymore, the kids that passed today. You won't hear about the families affected anymore. You'll just still hear about the agenda being pushed by the government. And that's fucking bullshit. I don't know what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to help. You know, it wasn't too long after I started this show that I realized that my main goal in life is to be an activist and use my voice to stand up for those who can't. And this is one of those times I just don't know what to say. I'm just fucking pissed off, and I'm pissed off for all you mom and dads out there. I'm pissed off for those families who their kids are not coming home, and those mom and dads have to deal with it. You know, we spend all this money sending it to other countries to help them with bullshit. We spend all this money teaching critical race theory, and if you want to be a girl but you're a boy, that's okay. Or if you want to be a boy and be a girl, that's okay. Or whatever. I don't care. I don't care about none of that shit. I care about the happiness and the safety of a child. I want everyone, when they go to school, to be safe and be welcomed. I don't care what your kid dresses like or how your kid acts or what they identify as. I just want them to be happy. A lot of people fuck that up with people like me. We literally don't care about your beliefs. I don't care if your religious beliefs are different. I don't care if you're whatever. If you believe that there's fucking 87 genders in this world, I don't care. I believe that you have the right to be happy and safe the same way that I do. Same way that my child does. The same way that every one of your children do. We've got to quit being so fucking divided. You know, it's real hard to knock over a brick wall when all the fucking bricks are tight and they're standing together. It's real easy to knock one over when that shit's separated and it's flimsy and there's no support. We've got to be the wall, the support system that our children need. You know, I feel safe where we're at, knock on wood. But this has got me thinking about wanting to homeschool my kid. And I know how socially awkward and how fucked up homeschooling will make somebody. If you're listening to this and you've been homeschooled, you know it. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that you ain't a little fucked up from being homeschooled. You're socially awkward. There's a lot of shit you didn't learn that are life lessons that you could have learned in school that you didn't get a chance to. But what the safety of my child means more than you being socially awkward. It's not fair to anyone that we live in a country where this is still happening. And fuck just a country. It's not fair that we live in a world that this is happening. That children who haven't even got to live yet, really, are taken from their parents at fucking school. Now, somebody's going to message me and they're going to say this bullshit. Well, Josh, why'd you make an episode on this? You're exploiting it. I don't know if I am or not, to be honest with you. I just know it's on my heart, and I couldn't lay in bed anymore without getting it off. I could have made a Facebook post, I could have made an Instagram post or whatever, but I decided to come here so I could speak freely and get it off my chest. And also pray for them. You know, I'm not one of those that prays for the person who did it. Now, you're going to get some people that's going to be like, well, I feel sorry for their mama and daddy or whatever. I don't. I hope that the person did it rots in fucking hell. I'm not one of those that forgives very easily. And I'm not going to be one of those. I'll let the good Lord forgive. I will let him forgive. I've said it on here before, and I meant it a different way, that I'm not the judge, the jury, or the executioner. My opinion really doesn't fucking matter. And since it really doesn't matter, I'll tell y'all, there's no forgiveness in me for this person. There's no forgiveness for me in the little fucking white racist that went to the African-American church in Charleston a couple years ago and killed innocent men and women. I hope that motherfucker rots in hell. You know, I might die on the way home tonight from leaving the studio, and they'll probably...
Community is always worth celebrating, and the same goes for businesses born within them. In Drizzly, the #1 alcohol delivery company, you can find the biggest selection of black-owned and women-owned beer, wine, spirit brands. Then get them delivered to you in under 60 minutes. Now you can sip with purpose and explore brands that are shifting the industry while amplifying voices often left unheard. Find your new favorite drinks while supporting the diverse stores that make them great. Make your memorable moments even more meaningful by choosing brands with good intents. Show your support and raise a glass to the spirit of representation and belonging, all the while discovering incredible drinks with stores worth celebrating. Just download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and start sipping with purpose now.
92% of households that join Peloton early in the year are still active a year later.
Yeah, if you like cycling to EDM.
Not just EDM. Try cycling to Broadway hits, take a scenic hike in Iceland on our treadmill, or row to some 80s jams.
Because I have so much free time.
Whether you have 30 minutes or just 5, Peloton can fit any schedule. 92% stick with it. So can you. Try Peloton tread, row, or bikes risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.
Somebody says the same shit about me. But I'm not forgiving. I won't forgive any of this shit ever, but I will pray for change. I will pray for change, and I will pray that the names of these fallen are not forgotten. That it doesn't turn into just some fucking agenda for some conservative or some liberal. I pray that some tragedy like this finally makes us all realize if we don't do something, we're going to lose our fucking kids. And I'm not talking about just to a school shooting. I'm talking about to the fucking society that we live in. I am talking about we have to fucking make a change. And I want to challenge each and every one of y'all that are listening that's got kids right now. Make that change start in your house. And if you don't know what I mean, I'm going to tell you from my point of view. And this is only from my point of view. If you get mad, you get mad. Gracie knows how to shoot the guns that her mother owns and keeps put in her house. Gracie stays with her most of the time. I've been over and over it with her. She knows the safety of them, what they mean, that they are not to be played with, they are not to be fucked with. My daughter knows gun safety. When she gets a little bit older, she's going to take a gun safety class, and she's going to have a concealed carry permit. And she's going to have one with her all the time. And Gracie is going to be taught to shoot first, ask questions later. I don't want my child to ever be put in a situation where she's got to think about, well, what's society going to say? I want my child to get home. If my child gets in trouble for some dumb shit, she's got to pay the price. Everybody does. But we have to teach our children to protect themselves, and however you see fit. I will never tell another parent how to raise their kids. My child will know that it's better, what's that stupid ass saying? It's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And God help the little ones that died today. They didn't get that choice. They didn't get that far in life because somebody older than them decided that today was the day they were going to fucking show out and they were going to push their agenda by doing a school shooting. Whatever their agenda might have been. We'll probably find that out coming up the next couple days. I pray for everyone involved today but that person. There is a special place in hell for you, and the quicker you get there, the better with me. A lot of people think I'm cold when it comes to that shit. But when I hear about a child being molested, I hear about a child being hurt, I hear about any of that kind of stuff. I want the person who does that and harms our children to experience the worst of the worst of the worst pain. So y'all got to remember, the trauma don't stop. The trauma is never going to stop for a child when they are abused or witness something like they did today. That is a scar that never heals, or a wound that never heals, and a scar that never fades. That will be there for the rest of their life. I just don't know. I've said it a million times, and this is probably going to be one of y'all going to end up saying, well, this is Josh pushing his agenda. We've got the best military in the world. We've got the best veterans in this world. Some of them are not mentally stable and need a whole lot of help. And they deserve getting all of our help and all of our praises. But for those who come back home that are mentally safe, I think that would be the word. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. That are mentally okay, that can be vetted, that are not a harm to themselves or anybody else, that still have that pride in their country, in their servicemen and women, and the men and women and children that they protected without ever knowing our names. Put them at the entrance of every fucking school in America. Pay them a good fucking wage, and you put them at every entrance at every school in America, and a school shooting will never happen again. People would be scared to death then, because you know what? You'll never make it inside, and you never get to fucking push your message. You never get to show out and take innocent lives just to push your fucking whatever, your insecurities. This person, I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck's going to come out to be. But in past, it was, I was mistreated. Grow the fuck up. Kids, but remember, that's why you don't mistreat people. You don't know what they've got going on. But at some point in time, you have to stop blaming the rest of the world for your problems. I've got trauma from a kid. You've got trauma from a kid. We've all got fucking trauma from a kid. Everybody's got some fucked up shit that happened to them from growing up. But at some point in time, you seek help, you seek a support system, and you get over it. You do not let your demons control the rest of your life. You fucking control them. The people that waller in that shit, the people that use it as an excuse, are the ones that end up doing some shit that not only hurt themselves, but it hurts everybody around them. Mental health in this country has to be focused on. And it has to be done now. Not fucking tomorrow, not 10 years from now. Now. We have to come together and we have to push the issue of protecting our children. And this isn't no QAnon shit. This isn't no saying that kids are being abducted, put into sex slaves and all that kind of stuff. I know some of that shit does happen. But I know there's been like some radicalists on the right that have just blown that shit out of proportion to fit their agenda. And that's fucked up. We need to focus on protecting our children now. In schools, in the house, everywhere. As stupid as it sounds, me and my personal trainer, Reagan, were walking to go pick up Gracie last Monday at the 4-H office. 4-H office is real close to my studio. And I thought about when we were walking there how I'm only 35 years old. But if you could have went back 24 years and I was 11 years old and I had that distance to walk from school to home, you wouldn't have thought twice about it. Your parents wouldn't have thought twice about it. The school wouldn't have thought twice about it. They'd have been like, all right, you have a good day. Go on home now. We'll see you tomorrow. You didn't have to worry about this fuck shit you got to worry about now. We're taking it too easy on sexual offenders. We're taking it too easy on people who hurt children. And we're not focusing enough on mental health awareness in this country. If you are a sex offender and you harm a child, you ought to be fucking castrated, in my opinion. I have yet to hear a success story. If any of y'all know one, I challenge people every fucking time. Anytime I've ever heard about a child being molested, a child being raped, or an adult being molested or being raped. And they're the person who did it to them. I have yet to hear where somebody has came back and said, oh, well, this person just needed rehabilitation and now they're fine. Show me a fucking case. Fuck castrating them. You know why you didn't have this shit back in the Wild West? They had a real good fucking solution to sexual predators and people who hurt children. It was called a tall-ass tree and a short-ass fucking rope. Some of y'all ain't going to like that. But I said it at the beginning of this, and I said it back in 2020, October of 2020. I started this fucking show so I could say what I wanted to and put my opinions out into the world. And I'm just here to tell y'all, like, this shit that I've said to y'all tonight is probably not the answer. I'm a pissed off parent right now. And I don't know what the answer is. I want to know what the answer is. I want to know these people that are career fucking politicians on both sides that get paid all this fucking money don't have to have a real fucking job, that most of them have never had to have a real fucking job. I want to know what they're going to do to protect our kids. I don't care if you're a Democrat or or a Republican or independent or whatever the fuck you are. Tell me how you're going to protect our kids. But you know what? My voice ain't big enough. The tens of thousands of people that listen to this show, all of our voice is big enough together. Ask them. Fucking send messages. Look up email addresses. Email the fuck out of your state representatives, even your damn superintendents and principals. Ask them what they're doing to protect your kids. If we don't push the issue, things like this are going to keep happening. You didn't have this shit back in the day because people fucking knew better. People knew they wasn't going to get away with it. People knew they wasn't going to get the exposure. People knew that it was a bad fucking idea on their end to hurt other people's children back in the day. Now, they know they're going to get their fucking 15 seconds of fame. They know that their agenda is going to end up getting pushed. That some people will make people that do this stuff that were bullied back in school a martyr. Fuck you. You're not a goddamn martyr. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that before, but you'll get people that are like, well, they were bullied. We should have had their back and all this kind of shit. I was fucking bullied. I know a lot of people that were bullied. Never make excuses for pieces of shit like this. Kids, don't bully. But when you get to a certain age, you got to put that shit behind you. You have to control your trauma, or it's going to control the rest of your fucking life. If you're dealing with some mental health issues today, look, I say it all the time to take the taboo out of it. I am a suicide survivor, folks. I deal with depression and anxiety every day. If you break down and cry and you don't know why, if you walk into a room and you think everybody's talking about you, if you just think that tomorrow's never going to be better than today, I'm here to tell you it is. It fucking is. You're not the only one that thinks this fucked up shit. You're not the only one that battles it. You're not the only one that can be in a crowded room and still feel fucking alone. I have to wake myself up half the time when I'm in Nashville and I'm around successful people and I'm around people that I love, because I feel alone still. I feel like a fraud. I feel like I am the one that's going to get exposed. And then you know what? I'll hear one of my buddies sing a song, and I know that they understand anxiety and depression. They fucking understand what it is like to be stuck in your head and you can't get the fuck out. That is why I love the people I surround myself with. We're all fucked up. Fucked up people don't judge fucked up people as long as we know you're fucked up too. It's the people that pretend to be perfect that we have a problem with, because we know you're not fucking perfect. Please, if you're someone who suffers with mental health, reach out to me. If you're a veteran, reach out to Mission 22, reach out to Creative Vets, Fight the War Within. I just found out about a great organization called MVP. Please look them up. Reach out. And if you are somebody, just a civilian that is suffering with depression or anxiety, call the suicide hotline. Or reach out to your friends and family. Hey, look, I tell this story all the time, and I'm going to tell y'all just one more time to push somebody. If you're a suicide survivor, or you've ever thought about it, and you've been in those lowest lows, those darkest of darks, put your shit on social media one time. Put what you're going through on social media one time. I shared my story probably 5 or 6 years after I tried to commit suicide. I was scared to death that everybody was going to think I was fucking crazy. I got nothing but love and support, built a support system that I still have to this day. And it took a weight off of my shoulders because all the messages that I got from people saying that they had been down them same fucking roads. They had literally hurt just as bad. That they felt that alone. If this ends up being a mental health issue today, that person should have sought mental health treatment beforehand. Don't let your shit get so bad that it wins. View it as a fucking game. It's not a game of checkers, by the way. It is a fucking chess match. Don't let that fucking demon inside of you, anxiety, depression, PTSD, whatever it is, do not let that demon beat you. I'm not going to let it beat me. I don't want to be the only one at the end of the day that fucking says that either. I want it to be a mess of people that say the same thing to me. I want people to come up to me and say, Josh, I can't stand your fucking ass. You're so full of shit. Your eyes ought to be brown. But when you said it was time for me to control my demons and stop letting them control me, I took it to heart and I made changes in my life. If you'll do that, you're going to live a different life. You're going to wake up. Sun's going to be a little bit brighter. The blue in the sky is going to be a little bluer. The love that you feel for yourself and for other people is going to be greater. And look, I'm a Christian, so God has helped me get through a lot of it. But if you're not a Christian or you're not religious, that's fine. The universe is going to help you get through this. The universe is going to set you on your fucking path. I would challenge you, though, to find God. You know, I don't go to church. I believe it's your own personal relationship. I find God in country music or just in music in general. There's days that I just ride around and I turn on songs that are gospel or borderline gospel. And it's usually about a sinner finding the good Lord. And that is where I find my religion. That is where I find my faith. But you don't have to do it that way. I just like the fact that I can lean on something bigger than me. And I know that the good Lord has got a plan. Helps me make everything make sense in my life. You know, even today. Today doesn't make sense to me. But when I get on the other side of the pain and the anger from this, and we see why today happened, if we ever find out today why today happened, maybe it started a wildfire. Maybe it started a wildfire of faith, a wildfire of mental health awareness. Maybe it started the wildfire that we needed to protect our children. And if that happens, you know, I still will not be okay with what happened today. But it makes it not taste so bad. Folks, I'm going to let y'all go now, but y'all please, the names of the people lost today in Nashville are in the description of this show. Please say a prayer for their families. Say a prayer for them. Say a prayer for the leaders of this country and all around the world that we can figure out a way to stop this bullshit. Say a prayer for you and your kids that you can be the shield, the armor, the protector that your family needs. Say one for me, because I need it. I need it. I need it just as much as you guys do. I don't have all the answers, I promise you. I got this off my chest tonight because I needed to. I was struggling. And I knew if I just kept sitting there, it was going to eat me alive. So feel free to express yourself how you need to. Expressing yourself is going to make you feel better, and it's going to get that chip off your shoulder. And don't worry, if you're met with negativity, just ignore it. Thieves don't try to break into empty houses. If you don't know what that means, the devil knows you got something to offer, so he's going to bring just as much negativity to you as you've put positivity out into the world. But fuck the devil and fuck negativity. Turn your pain into purpose, folks. The good Lord allows us to go through hell so we know what heaven is worth. I love y'all. Please say a prayer for all the folks involved today. And thank y'all for listening to the Josh Terry Podcast.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond? Maybe Roy is just bird speak for save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. I guess until Roy answers, we'll never know. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.